Oh my god, it was so sorry, never meant to spoil your party. Hey, what's the word? Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Sidecar, the series where we get down and dirty about last week's Tuesday Ukeday drop from yours truly, Uke Brute. This week's episode, the pop dropping lock sock hop. Oh, doesn't really translate there, but you get it. So this fucking ditty, it might not seem like it, but I actually have a lot to say about this fucking one. Maybe because it's an old one. There's a lot of, we'll get into it throughout this video. So this is one of the older tracks on this set list. It was actually written before All Those Things That Make You Dream, which to this point has been the oldest song on this set list. So this was written a few songs prior to that, so probably a month or two prior to that, and it'll probably be it'll remain one of the oldest ones, other than maybe one or two potential other songs that I have lined up if we get to them, because they're older. We'll see how they go. Slight caveat though, yes, because while the the strum, I had all that done, and I had all of the verses. So all of those verses about all your favorite or least favorite dance moves, your sock hopping, your beat bopping, or beatboxing, your pin dropping, all that good stuff. That was all written. I did not have that refrain though until a few months ago, maybe even like 2 months ago, very, very recently comparatively. I've been trying different attempts to come through with that refrain, or to come up with a refrain, and nothing was working, nothing was sounding good, nothing was just getting through. But I really think that eventual, it just fit, and then the lyrics for those, the refrain also, I think, really just captured the overarching theme for this song, which is, it's about a dance crew who shows up to a dance party, starts mobbing the dance floor, and dances their asses off. Pretty straightforward. You might be wondering what we're going to talk about, but we'll get there. But there's also like that overarching theme of like, oh, you can't be mad if you're having a dance party and a better dance crew came in, served you. And it kind of gets into that refrain. Even those lyrics originally were largely inspired by, I have a very good friend, like back in probably our college days, right after our college days, he had this idea for a group Halloween costume set where we dressed up like the people, the characters from You Got Served, and we just went around starting dance parties or dance contests, dance-offs with people all over the place, and that was like our Halloween costume. And to be honest, I dug it. It was a cool idea. The problem was that none of the costumes were like costumey enough to kind of like, it was just like street clothes essentially. So we never really got around to it. But that was the original kind of like even inspiration for those lyrics. The strum notwithstanding. It had like kind of like a juking and jiving type of vibe to it, so that's why I went in that direction in the first place. But the You Got Served Halloween costumes definitely played a role. But then I was able to incorporate that into the refrain, which I might be a little biased, but I thought, yes, like that just worked, and that's what kind of pulled it off and kind of just really brought the song together. The song was actually listed on the Tuesday Ukeday. It's supposed to be like week 12 or week, maybe 11 or something. So it's one of those songs I was not sure if I was even going to come together and, get published, particularly because of the strum. Obviously this is like much different than most of my strums. Most of my work is, contrary to most best practices for strumming a ukulele, I keep my, the palm or the heel of my palm firmly placed on my uke here, so I can get more more control over the strum, essentially, because it's too fast when you're strumming it. I don't get as much control, and but for this song, obviously, it's not the case because we have the and even I'm sure you can tell if you listen to the version I have recorded, that thumb that barely shows up sometimes. That first of all, the speaker wasn't really, the microphone's not really picking it up as much, and then I'm not really hitting it as hard as I can because it takes a little bit too much force, and it's like slowing the song down. So you're wondering, why the hell am I even doing this then? If it's not playing the way I want it to, and that's a great question, because coincidentally enough, I was asking myself the same question because right after I spent a lot of time trying to get that one recording down that I got published, because sometimes I can get some of the easier songs done fairly relatively quickly, an hour's worth of takes for a 3-minute song. Sure, why not? This one, even though I've been practicing and just working on it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and ostensibly, years, but really just focusing on it, since it was supposed to be hitting on week 12 or so, and I still was not able to really, nail this. Obviously, you can tell it's just not hitting it. So I'm like, again, why did I go through with pursuing this one? After I'd spent, the entire, a really long time, or not really long time, just like an evening's worth of just trying to nail this song, because there's a lot more parts to my normal song, because that strum and the thumb just kind of, it's a whole other layer and complexity to add to everything else you're trying to remember, just like regular, chord progression, lyrics, ideally a vocal register, but me. And just just keeping the time signature, just everything in place, the melody. So it's like another added complexity, which makes it difficult. But after I had recorded the version that I released for y'all on Tuesday, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you got a chance to see it, if not, go check it out. It's a pretty fun ditty. But the same person, the friend who inspired that song, just kind of like with the Halloween costume and serving people, just kind of out of the blue, he had no idea I've been working on this song. He, out of the blue, sent me a link. We talked, not like it was just kind of like randomly, but like he sent me a link to a podcast about this individual named Matt Farley, who I was unaware of, and he kind of is a one-man show, more or less, for modern media, like MOTERN, and this guy just like cranks out thousands and thousands and thousands of songs a year that he publishes to all the platforms, and some of them are just, well, I'm sorry, not some of them, the vast overwhelming majority of these songs are just SEO key grabs. He just talks, he just names celebrities and like, I think you're pretty fun, I think you're pretty cool. A lot of poop songs. Dude, I'm cool. Like, if you got a good poop song, I want to hear it. But he just will replace different individuals' names, like children's names, to help them like go potty. So people are, parents are like, hey, play the poop song for Jeremy, like, Jeremy, it's time to go poop. So you could kind of see where it's going, where he's just cranking out not even the lowest common denominator, not even the lowest hanging fruit. It's like the fruit that's already fallen to the ground and it's kind of mushy, and you're just kind of picking that slop up and throwing it at you. But it got me thinking about what I've been doing with Tuesday Ukeday and just trying to keep things going as they are. It gave me something to think about, obviously, because I was, I'm just kind of pumping things out, and I'm clearly not giving the absolute best that could be you can have. Granted, this is a brutal ukulele channel. There's no you know, higher, you know, loftier indications that it should be better. Not to hide behind that or to lampshade what I'm doing, just to kind of give you like, oh, it's going to be shitty regardless, just because I say it's going to be shitty. But, you know, as I was thinking about it, it kind of reminded me that, you know, the week prior on my Sunday Sidecar, I mentioned, and because I had been actively avoiding some of the songs on my playlist that I didn't think were fun, that I didn't think were going to be, you know, something that even like the 10 of you who watch these would enjoy. Which brings us to this shirt that I'm wearing, because coincidentally enough, again, I had a shirt like this in like high school, like freshman, sophomore year of college, that I got from a thrift store, a very threadbare shirt, like falling apart, but it read, "Are we having fun yet?" And I would wear it all the time. And my same friend, who suggested the You Got Served Halloween costume, and who just randomly sent me randomly sent me that podcast about Matt Farley. I had bequeathed this shirt to him after it kind of shrunk. It was too small for me. And I gave it to him, and he wore it for a couple years before it was just like held together like by a single thread, and he had to retire it. It was a sad day for all. We mourned the shirt because, you know, it raised the question, are we having fun yet? And surprisingly, a few years ago, he surprised me with a new version of the shirt. And it gets to, again, the question of, you know, are we having fun with this music? I'm having fun with it. I'm not playing on the, you know, I'm not releasing, I'm not, you know, subjecting y'all to the stuff that I don't think is at least somewhat fun, or at least somewhat engaging in its own way, even if it is like a slower or, you know, non-traditional, unorthodox, whatever. I still think there's like something there to have fun with. And so, yeah, long, circuitous story short, yeah, I just don't think I'm pumping out the same type of, you know, dredge that this Matt Farley is pumping out. And there's more of a purpose, and one might even say an artistic angle to one's opinion. We'll see. But yeah, that's, I guess, it's a long story about this song that really doesn't, you know, relate to the song. But to the strum itself, I like the strum. The one thing that's thrown me off for this, and what makes it really tricky for me to actually play accurately, because originally I just had it kind of like a, it was there. It was like kind of what I wanted to hear, but like in playing around, I realized that I needed to get another down strum before the thumb slap. So it's a, as compared to the, and so slight variation, but to me it was like the world of difference, but it made it more difficult to get in that extra down strum before the thumb slap, which again impedes on the thumb slap itself, so it makes it harder to slap, or, you know, you don't hear it as hard. I can't slap it as hard, so you can't hear it as clearly. And so it's like a toss-up, you know, do I focus more on the strum or the thumb? Thumb or the strum? Thumb or the strum? Strum or the thumb? You know, the questions that keep us up at night, all of us. So I focus more on the strum, and that's why the thumb isn't as prevalent as it should be. But at the same time, like, even though this is a Uke Brute channel, like, I did not get into this as someone trying to, you know, excel at the ukulele, despite all the evidence to the contrary. Joking, of course. the ukulele is just a vehicle for my words, for my lyrics, my songwriting. And I never even bought this one. I think I might have mentioned it on an earlier Uke Brute video or Sunday Sidecar video. But, you know, I'd been thinking about getting a ukulele. Some friends and I were having a West Coast road trip. I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I had like a ukulele. I could play like on the beach or something, some covers, you know, like some Stand By Me or whatever, you know, the hell. And then I never really followed through with it because, you know, it's whatever. We were just going to go out and do that. And I was at my parents' one weekend, and my stepfather was very musically inclined. You know, on his piano bench, he had a ukulele chord chart. And I was like, oh, dude, like, when did you pick up a ukulele? And he's like, yeah, you know, I got one for your mother. She wanted to play, but, like, the strings were hurting her fingers, and so she doesn't want to do it. And I get it because, like, you know, your fingers got to blister over a bit. And so I was like, can I have it? I was thinking of getting a ukulele, actually. It's kind of like a weird coincidence. I guess it also says something about me and my mother or whatever. But I was like, hey, yeah, like, I like that. She's like, yeah, no, take it. And so that's how even I got this ukulele. And so it was never really like something I went out to be. I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to go out and just be like this awesome ukulele player. That being said, I mean, I want to try to do what I can with the uke. I'm trying to... I think it's an amazing instrument. I think more people can appreciate it. There's so much more that it can do, I feel, than the typical, you know, just like... I mean, there's just like that typical uke strum that everyone plays, and I feel like there's so much more than instrument to this instrument. Than people give it credit for. And that's why I'm trying to play around and bring new, you know, a little flavor to it. Not to say that this is an original strum, because I'm sure someone else has probably already done it and probably much better than me. But I wanted to just liven it up a bit, because I think the song works well with it. And obviously, again, even after all these years, it's still like not something that I can really fucking nail. I don't spend nearly enough time that I should be playing this, but that's what, you know, it's here for other people. You know, if you want to learn, you want to play around with it, you know, there's something, you know, it's specific ukulele songs. That's kind of like, you know, most of my goal in this is because there's not really that many ukulele songs that are for people. So I figure, you know, let's build out the catalog. Granted, you gotta use your imagination. And you gotta dance. You gotta be willing to dance because, you know, oh my God, we're so sorry. We never meant to spoil your party. Please accept apologies. Let's get down and dirty. Yeah, so that's the pop, drop, and lock sock hop. Yeah, I know, you know, you pop and lock it, and, you know, you add a drop in some words, so you should, you know, but for the purpose of the rhyme scheme, pop, drop, and lock, sock it. Pop, drop, and lock it. Don't forget you gotta pop, drop, and lock it. Yeah, don't forget you gotta pop, drop, and lock it, and lock it, and lock it, and lock it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. As always, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, you gotta pop, drop, and lock it. And if you let your nerves burn, you ain't know how to party right. Because this song is all about partying, you know, just dancing. And if someone's dancing a little better than you, not that I would ever be probably, you know, I get a little footwork in there, but, you know, you can't get mad. Like, everyone's just there to have a good time, and don't let it get to your head. Just have fun. Take your energy, your anger somewhere else. Take it off the dance floor. Take it away from the party, because it's not how you party. I sound like an old fucking grandpa telling all everyone, like, oh, this is how you gotta party. So yeah, so that's the pop, drop, and lock sock hop once again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, and check back soon for another ditty from Uke Brute.